between a halo and a hearse, half-built prayers and a slowly rotting earth. One hand on the future, one deep in the stain, trying to stand while dissolving in place. There were maps in the ceiling, there were stars in the cracks, there were doors in my mind that kept calling me back. So I ran to the noise, to the glitter, the spin, to anything bright that would not let truth in. I touched every phantom, I named every sign, turned dust into prophecy, chaos divine. Anything but the womb with my real name on it, anything but the fire I was meant to walk in. I kept building altars to delay and escape, fed my hours to shadows wearing beautiful shapes. And the more that I moved, the less I became a body full of motion with no courage to chase. Something in me knows which road is mine, but I keep kissing the edges and calling it time. Something in me screams, turn and begin, but I keep dressing decay in celestial skin. Procrastination, a chromostatic on my head. Procrastination, a velvet coffin for the steps I never took. I reach for everything except the hand that could pull me through. I turn the stars into an alibi, I make a universe out of not doing what I know I must do. Procrastination. There is a house in my blood that I never outgrew. Its walls still breathe in everything I do. So when life puts a door in front of my chest, I smile like I'm healing, then turn to the left. I know this religion delayed divide, find 10,000 reasons not to choose a side. Make a maze out of maybes, make a god out of doubt, keep the soul entertained while the light bleeds out. I was not lazy, I was splintered and trained to survive by distraction, by weather, by pain, by touching the orbit but never the sun, by making a ritual of what stays undone. Every hour on hell became harder to lift, every small sacred move turned myth after myth, till the life I could have built stood pale at the frame, and I stared through the doorway while whispering its name. Something in me knows which wound to face, but I keep painting the void till it looks like grace. Something in me begs, stop circling the air, but I keep feeding the dark with the time I should spend. Procrastination, a chromostatic on my head. Procrastination, a velvet coffin for the steps I never took. I reach for everything except the hand that could pull me through. I turn the stars into an alibi, I make a universe out of not doing what I know I must do. Procrastination. What if the ruin was never the fall? What if the ruin was waiting to roar? What if the grave is not made of death, but all the true words I never said? I feel my life like a trembling wire, a house on the edge of a sleeping fire, and every second I fail to choose teaches the ash what shape to use. I am split between terror and almost becoming, between the wound and the sound of running, between the life with my name in its mouth and the old black weather that keeps dragging me south. How many heavens have I left unopened? How many mercies have I called an omen? How many times have I mistaken fear for fate and loss for being sincere? Move, move, why am I still? I can hear tomorrow breaking at the sill. Wait, wait, that's what the dead say. That's how the whole learns to run in broad day. Run to the stars, run to the screen, could have been, still waiting. Past procrastination.